We are Moors. We pray 3 times a day, morning, noon, and evening, which is Quranically correct. Now, the significance of praying is the establishment of a personal relationship with that synchronicity, with our God Allah, who is almighty. Through prayer and exercise of sincere thought is putting into practice this holisticness, this synchronicity, creating a conduct of total peace in connection with the within. Here we back to masonry. We go back to God and man is one. That's that 360. That's that 360 is the total sum of all material knowledge, but 720 is the sum of both spiritual and knowledge. It's the circle in the circle. We must become 720 when we master our house. When I talk about Africa, the Afru-Ra, the flush of God, I break the science down. This stuff's supposed to be explained. It's thoughts, not words. Words are spells. The 12, all your 12, the zodiac signs pertains also 12 to the 12 function in the brain. The 3 wise men, that analogy, that pertains to the pineal, to the pituitary, to the hypothalamus. We're talking about what's inside man. The Khares, the I am, the crown anointed mummified. When we talk about boy, when we break things down, that's the biological youth organism. We're talking about manifestation, you, own, universe. You talk about you, God, generator, operator, destroyer. Man is master, able, noble. We doing this connection. Here go the chakras. Here go all the chakras. The throat chakra, all the chakras, this the 7 kinetic principles. Here we go again with the zodiac signs. Here we go again with Allah, arm, leg, arm, head. Islam, I, self, law, and master. God, generator, operator, destroyer. That's God. That's you. Moors is nothing. The devil is live spelled backwards. They know this. Mason, the star and the moon, the mother and the son come together creating life. The self and the soul that split. Remember, the compass is to circumscribe the world. The ruler to measure it. When I talk about circling your square, a circle and a square has 360 the same. When you do the circle, put a line down the middle, you got 90, 90, 90, 90. When you do the square, each corner is 90. You circle the square. I'll show you how to do this later. As above, so below. The 2 manifestations coming together. That's not a cross. That's sustainability. Fear, the earth. Fire, earth, air, river, which is the water. More, if I can go on and on, but we got to get back to this science. I go on and on with the teachings, man. We must be sound, correct on all our history. More should not be saying 2 and 3 and 4 different things. If not, it's not more science and it's not valid because it's only one word and it's only one truth. It's only one history. It's only one law. Period. But the humbleness, it also brings about in one's character, as well as asking for divine guidance, accepting it as it comes, is the ultimate blessing, Moors. There are 3 different prayers given by our prophet, Drew Ali. I keep telling y'all this ain't, we not Al-Islam. I'm sorry. We got our charity prayer, our zakat, Z-A-K-A-T, is giving to the poor and sick collection, as well as the giving of oneself by night and by day, truthfully. Aims, the act of giving. In the act of giving, one receives much more than one actually receives from another. It is not thy hand a miracle, Moors, and should be a benefit to the uplifting of fallen humanity. This is my life. But I also, this is teacher. I'm an author. I must teach. If brothers and sisters can't afford my literature, I still give it to them. But I set my literature at a price to where everyone can buy it. And if you don't want to buy the hard copies, I have PDFs. But if a person truly can't afford it, I give it away. Come on, man. We got to be correct and get out of our feelings. We all work. Nothing is free in life, and we should be okay with paying if we're getting something that's worth value. Moors go to the movies. Moors do all entertainment. But when it comes down to brothers and sisters supporting each other, the first thing they say, oh man, it should be free. No, it should be at a price that's right. that to where you can't refuse it. And it's great. Our Ramadan, which is fasting. Follow to me and listen, Moors, not merely from eating. When people think Ramadan is just from eating, that's not it in Moorish science, but from all carnal things, which is the physical things that we attach to. See, that's what it's for. So when you talk about you going through Ramadan, you're not eating, but what else are you not doing? You're supposed to be detoxing. Just like when a person said, oh, this prayer time, well, I got a prayer. You got to pray. That was for the slave. Because if you're connected to God, that's your time. And that's high science. And that's in the Qurans, both. If we're studying. But in Moorish science, we observe our Ramadan every October 1st to 31st. Sunrise at 7 a.m., sunset 7 p.m. We of all people have suffered the most and have been up under a fast that no other people or prophet has had to go through by force. Come on, study it. Fasting was and is geared for those time periods when I talk about dispensations. However, there are other forms of fasting which is far more spiritual than physical denial of a substance for the human body, Moors. The spiritual and moral fasting cleanse the soul, giving us the manifestation or the manifest mastery over the carnal things. I've just given you the science. When I say 360 is just the material wisdom, 720 is the total sum of both. You must master your higher self. That's what that fasting is all about. The Hajj, or the pilgrimage, is the meeting Allah, which is key for Moors. A Moorish American Muslim should Hajj to our Moorish Mecca during convention time, which is our physical Hajj. The spiritual Hajj is meeting with Allah in the most sacred of places. That's within the heart. That's that synchronicity. Our Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated that Chicago, Illinois was going to be our new holy city. And every Moor know that. We as Moorish Americans pilgrimage to Chicago, Illinois, as this is our holy city in these modern days. If we're studying our holy and divine creed, we have no need to travel to a city appointed by Muhammad, who was a prophet of Allah some 1400 years ago, Moors. Jihad in Moorish science is mastering our lower selves. I will say it again. Jihad in Moorish science is mastering our lower selves, gaining self-discipline, gaining fullness, fulfilling oneness. Divine duty removes a lot of former sins, as well as keeps us, it keeps a form. It keeps us steady shedding like the snake, that newness, that oneness. When we talking about Africans in Asia, when we talk about the Sambo Buddha, when it sits on the seven serpents, when we talk about the Negas people, come on, man. Our Iman, which is being faithful and true. That's all that is being faithful and true. So if they put that title on that, you should be willing to be faithful and true. And if you are sincere and you're wrong, you should admit and be like, I'm sincerely wrong, and willing to stand corrected, because we're not trying to practice malpractice to our brothers and sisters. But we are being faithful and true to oneness, to one's belief in Allah, which is arm, leg, arm, head, and Allah's prophet, his books, his angels. Our religion, Moors, is Islamism, is Sufism. We should not simply give lip service, Moors, but however provide a service, whereas all those around us know what we are all about. This ain't no gangster Moor or no more. We are noble men, master Mosins. We are family men. We supposed to be standing strong in our family, teaching this science. You're not Negro, black, and colored, Hispanic, Mexican, and Latino genetically. Those was all given to you by the person that stepped on your neck. That's why when I get historically and lawfully, it was certain things that was law when you research the doctrine of discovery. This is the stuff that I lecture on the college campuses. It's there. Nothing is hidden. Everything, the Jewish encyclopedias, they tell you who they are. They tell you they eat them. It's there. And we going around arguing. I'm like, brother, you operating in lower spirit. Their pen tell you. So you have the dawah, the propagating or the propagating, the religion of Islam, as it was written within the holy noble Quran, that Allah will believe those called to the faith. Those who stay home doing nothing are not seen as equal to those who dawah. More, don't y'all know when we talk about in masonry, just like Jefferson, he did his inauguration on the Quran, and I'll do that another time, which Quran it was. That those masonry, that's why they're sons of Muslims, because they went other religion that wasn't their foremothers and forefathers, and they started practicing Al-Islam. It's facts. I teach the science. The Blue Lodge masonry, 132 and 33 degrees with no fez. Once they become shrine, then they get the fez. But if you see the Asiatic woman with the on it, it's I'm telling you, man, that's why they call themselves sons of Muslims. I teach the science. They know it. We all know it. But the preaching and the teaching, the Kuba, the KHUTBA, is the preaching and the teaching aspect. Is the preaching and the teaching aspect. The life, the works, and the divine doctrine of our Savior, the great prophet Ali, who is Jesus, reincarnated. This time of era, we gotta understand the reason why the prophet used Jesus, because that was the name widely respected. If we're talking about a Hebrew prophet, you think he's gonna give a Greek or a Latin name and name himself and be called by that? No. His name. If we talk about the Hebrew Messiah, Yahshua, and when we talk about that more, all in our Quran, if you're reading it, right in the introduction to the genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of events of his life, all this Quran, what it talks about, I hope we know. It give our instructions, and it talk about who? Jesus. Life and works of Jesus in India among the Muslims. The friendship of Jesus and Lamis. Jesus reveals to the people of their sins. Jesus attends a feast in Bihar. I can go on and on. Jesus spake on the unity of Allah. Jesus and Baratha. Jesus teaches the common people at the spring. Life and works of Jesus in Egypt among the Gentiles. The ministry of John the Harbinger. I mean, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. So you got to understand what the prophet was saying. And when I do teachings, when I teach and preach, when I show Moors that the reason why you don't understand the scripture, because it was given to you in the form where they trying to say that your Bible, where the so-called Virgin Mary, all them people were Canaanite women. I can show you that. There wasn't no curse. There wasn't no curse of Ham. He had offspring. I can show you all through that. So it must be interpreted right, Moors. The deen or the din means depth or to owe. Once meant the height and depth of our faithfulness and our religion, our demeanor. Simply put, how well we practice our religion and relationship to Allah, which is the manifestation of arm, leg, arm, head. His books and the prophets. Our sirah or our equal. Our Moorish jurisprudence. Here we go again with being politically correct. Our systems of laws, which we live by. All Moors should be saying the same thing. If they're not, that's dogma. That's dogma. Flat out. This is not no European masonry, all that crap, man. Everybody should know science. The mystic, the synchronicity, the house of Ali, I teach it all up. All this stuff don't mean nothing. That's why if you in a temple, it should be given to you, for you can master it yourself. But the Sirah is the equal, our Moorish jurisprudence, the system of laws which we live by. And remember, Moors, the Moorish divine constitution and bylaws, additional laws, and other direct measures of instruction, all Moorish Americans to the higher by from our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali. When I say it's only one law, it's nothing as more law. If you're not, you are alien. I hope Moors know what I'm talking about. All this other stuff Moors telling you, they're not giving you the history and the historicalness of the travel and what it means and what all this stuff means. They're not telling you because they don't know the full color of the law. They don't know local law. They don't know state law. They don't know city law. They're only talking about use in a court of law. So I don't deal with feeling. The halal or the halal, H-A-L-A-H, are divine principles of laws made of truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These are by which we make our laws, our rules, and regulations by. First, our thinking, the Muda, M-U-B-A-H, or Muba. These are our righteous thinking, our determination to be the best God man, to master our higher self, to be the circle in the circle. Our choices and what we measure the unknown by. The unknown are the things which are not defined, Moors, or made clear to act or not to act on. We must have that spirit of discernment. How are you going to judge that? The things that's not seen, and you don't have this spiritual head on. Come on, man. You listen to more. They say all I deal with civics. And they're not dealing with the divine. They're not dealing with astrology, astronomy, mathematics, language, history, connotation, analogy. Something wrong. I told you what you, now the unknown are the things which are not defined. The outcome, how, and this is the analogy, the outcome is exactly the same, or what has not been written as being haram or haram. Haram in masonry, you're in masonry, talk about haram of beef. And in European science, we got about like 20 more minutes, and we're gonna be done, man. We're gonna clear it all up. So log back on Islamism. Yep, we just letting them log back on, Moors. We coming right back at you. If we gonna do the science, we gonna do the science. We right back on, Moors. Let's see where we stopped at. Oh yeah, we did, bro. We stopped at the Halil. Yeah. We stopped at the Yeah, we stopped at Halil. Okay. So the halal or the halal, it defined the principles of laws making our fight. Okay, I gave you that. I gave you the mubah. I gave you that. I gave you the haram. Okay, now the haram or the is forbidden to do. Also, you can see Surah 2, verse 173, and place in which certain behavior is necessary. Our isjad, I might be pronunciating it wrong, but IJTIHAD, it means what is on your heart. Once Prophet Muhammad asked his cloud, how would they judge men after him, Moors? And they said, by what is on our hearts, Moors? What is on our hearts? Prophet Muhammad asked, then what is on your hearts? They said, that which Allah has given unto you and you unto us. For this is a Sufi term that is both equal and superior to that of a Sunni, and a Shiite term being mubah, which means by logical deduction based on what you know of the Quran and hadiths of Prophet Muhammad. Come on, Moors. So we stopped that. So Empress, I don't know if you were here. I'm giving our prayers. I gave the duha, the kubba, the deen, the sirah, the halal, Halal, the mubah, haram, the hishdad. Now we're at the tawheed. The tawheed literally means union, divine unity, ahad, absolute oneness. In Sufism and Islamism, with a greater possibility of being able to do. In ancient Islam, which is Sufism, God and man is one. As man is but a thought of Allah, and so hold within him all the true attributes of Allah, as all seeds hold within themselves, Moors. We are a seed. See, when I talk about the essence of that from which they come, while they are not a planner themselves, yet they are as perfect as the source from which we sprang, Moors. Yea, as Allah is the truth, man can be true and faithful to Allah, Moors, which is arm, leg, arm, head. And to Allah alone he shall return, and you cannot return to where you did not originally come from. Moors, our ultimate goal as Moorish American Muslims is to attain tawheed, that Allah, which means the complete oneness with Allah, Moors. I hope we understand that synchronicity. So Islam, salam, assalamu alaikum. Like I said, in Moorish science, in our temples, we teach and all Moors, all of Muslims, we should all teach all our members, our brothers and sisters, to give praise to Allah, which is our SWAT. A minimum of 3 times a day. As this is what was taught coming into the movement. We give praise to Allah in prayer and give praise anytime we feel like it. That's why I said a man must pray continuous over and over. That's why, Moors, we don't gravitate to one religious dogma, because if we understand science, this is your nationality and identification card for the Moorish Science Temple of America and birthright for the Moorish Americans, etc. We honor all the divine prophets. What? We honor all the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. You should end that right there. That's understanding the triple role of the adapt chamber. The next question you should be asking that. If you're more, you should be asking that. What's the triple role of the adapt chamber? What if they don't know that? They should. What's the triple role of the adapt chamber? I just gave it to you. Respecting all the laws and the prophets. But if you feel the need to pray right now, go do it right now. No one tell you when you connect with man and you by yourself. But see, our teachings, when I teach members, when I teach students, what the prophet taught, is like you should only do it 3 times. Say this is not orthodox. This is not the orthodox way to perform salat or rakat or sadad or dua or anything else. And this is true. How Muslims in the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moors, do things is the orthodox way. We do them the right way, according to the Holy Quran, the Al-Quran, the Al-Diyam of Mecca. And anyone that has a problem with that, Moors, it is their problem and not mine. It's just facts. But what I will do here for us, Moors, for our study, is understanding through the Holy Quran, the great Quran of Muhammad, researching Surah 1587. And it shows how we only do 3 minimum. Even though I do not have a problem with a more doing the 5 traditional salats or salats, you see those in the East are doing. Now I know that when people research things, that's not valid, but it's not the final authority on anything in Islam. Because if you get right to the introduction, Muhammad wasn't the last prophet. It's there. But I want you to read things from a perspective and not just what I say. Salah is prescribed at 5 periods of the day as part of tradition. But Moors, however, the Quran only calls for 3, which are measured according to the movement of the sun. These are near dawn, which is the Fajr, F-A-J-R, I might be pronunciated wrong. Just after the sun's noon, or the Dur, D-H-U-H-R, in the afternoon, the Asar or the Sar, just after sunset, the Maghrib, and around, nightfall, the Isha. Under some circumstances, Moors, prayers can be shortened or combined according to those prescribed times or those prescribed procedures. Prayers can be missed in serious cases as well, but should be made up later. We talk about more science. But notice, some say it says that the 5 daily salawat are part of tradition, meaning they are not actually law. That's why I said you got to understand what words mean and willing to do the study. Every word means something, and you can't let a person arbitrarily explain something to you from their religious dogma, connotative, arbitrarily explaining to you, getting you caught up in linguistic apartheid. Follow me. Notice it says that 5 daily salawats or salats are part of tradition. You must understand what tradition is. Moors, tradition is when our great grandmamas and our grandmamas back then cut the turkey in half, and then we started doing it. Tradition don't mean it's right, and a lot of people are still doing things traditionally. Traditionally don't mean nothing. It means they are not actually law. Or far or how you perform according to the Quran. I don't care if you spell it with the K or the Q. But notice more, it also mentions that only 3 periods of times are mentioned. And if you look, you will see nowhere in the Quran does it say you have to perform a ritual of Yam, Ruka, Yam, Sadah, Jalais. It don't say it. And if any Muslim, it's not there. That's why I challenge you to study and research, because you're getting caught up in somebody's religious dogma. They read something to you in a language you don't even understand. And I tell you, a prophet comes in the voice of the people. Why? So you won't be confused. If that prophet know all these languages, he should explain it like I do. If I read Hebrew or Arabic, I'm going to explain it in English. I'm not going to read something in Arabic and make you read it in Arabic and you don't even understand it and you don't know how to transliterate it, because they tell you Jesus is a transliteration of Yahshua. Well, how can that be? And never was a J in the Hebrew alphabet. That's a replacement. That's false. Come on, man. You got to use your hippocampus. The 5 or the 7 pillars as pillars is not found in the Quran with the K or the Q. All of this is tradition, not law. It's not fard. It's not law. Now pay attention to this portion of certain when you research. And I don't know what platform, I don't care how you research, it is tell you that the salat of one Muslim, M-U-S-L-I-M, may differ from another in minor details, which can affect the precise actions and words involved. Differences arise because of different interpretation of the Islamic legal sources by the different Mahabibs. Now, interpretation, just like with the Bible, it's only one truth. You see how interpretations or the schools of law in Sunni Islam and by different legal traditions within Shiism. In this case of Salat, these differences are generally very minor and they are not necessarily cause of dispute. It is important to note the reason why Sunni Muslims have a basic agreement on the necessary part of the prayer. Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad practiced, taught, and disseminated the worship ritual in the whole community and made it a part of their life. The practice has therefore been concurrently and perpetually practiced by the community in each of the generations. In its basic form of salah, it is not based on the hadith or the Quran, but on the conscience of Muslims. Differences also occur due to optional or recommended rather than obligatory. Articles of salah, for example, which verse of the Quran to recite. The different performances of salah varies from one Muslim group to another. Why? Because it is not in the Quran. I don't care if it's the Q or the K. It is only tradition. And most universally accepted tradition is called orthodox. But that doesn't make it right. Only the Quran can make it law, can make it fard. And if anybody disagree, that's religious dogma. Notice it also says in its basic form, the salah is not based on the hadith or the Quran. Think on that for a minute, Moors. You got to really think on that. So then what is their source of information? Because they will act or they will act like you may say, hell, bullcrap. Bullcrap. So let's look at some facts. The numbers of regular salat mentioned by their respective names in Arabic in the Quran are 3 as follows. The salat, the farj, the Fajr is dawn prayer. Look in your Quran, I don't care which one. 2458. Salat al-Wusta, the middle prayer. Surah 2, 238. Surah 17, 78. Salat Isha, night, evening prayer. Surah 24, 58. And you will not see any specific way of performing these salats, Moors. Notice that carefully. There is no a rakat or ritualized ruku. In fact, the word rakat, R-A-K-A-T, is only speaking of ruku, not qiyam or sadah or jalsa, Moors. So think deeply about this science. Now, the following 3 salats, which are not mentioned in the Quran by their names as a salat in Arabic, are these. The salat dura, the salat asr, ASR, and the salat maghrib. Maghrib does not mean sunset. It means west. It means west. The word dur or D-H-U-H-R. They don't understand ancient Hebrew or ancient Paleo. They stuck in modern, which is gibberish in modern. The word noon is used. God and man is one. That ain't time for you to go out and pray. It's for the slave to go out and pray. It's just there. If you're connecting to God, that's your private time. That's your rest time. Read Surah 24:58. You don't got to agree with me. You're getting connotated. And even some of your own brothers will get you back in slavery. That's what our prophet said. Salat Dura is a T. So let's read these ayahs and see how they are spoken of. And I want you to really pay close attention. Think about all ayah 1778. Al Salada live al. I'm reading the Arabic book, but anyway, it's the usefully. And what I'm in English is interpreted. Establish regular prayers at the sun's decline till the darkness of night, and the morning prayer and reading for in the pictile. Establish worship at the going down of the sun until the dark of night, and the recital of the Quran at dawn. The recital of the Quran at dawn is ever witnessed. Keep a prayer from the declining of the sun till the darkness of the night and the morning. Recite. Perform the salat, the al-salat, to describe the sun, the al-shamshi, the darkness of the night, the al-layli, the Quran the morning, the al-fajri. Verily, the Quran in the morning, the al-fajr will be that which is witnessed, which is the mashhudin, the mashhudin, M-A-S-H. You read English, it only tells you to perform, which some translate as to establish the salat at the descending of the sun. And this is late afternoon, after the sun was at its highest and is headed to sunset and the darkness of night moors. This will also be considered the wusta, or the middle, the W-U-S-T-A. So you are standing, the kumum is where you're at. So while the morning is used, wukumo, Arabic again, use five, which is to guard strictly your habit of, which is your prayers, especially in the middle prayer, and stand before Allah in a devote, which is the right frame of mind. The pictile, be guardians of your prayers and the midmost prayer, and stand up with devotion to Allah. Shakir, attend consistently to prayers, and to the middle who have not come of pray. We're not al-Islam. I teach the science, Moorish. I teach the science. We should be getting this. We should be researching this literature, man. When I teach about the 7 Kemetic principles, I'm gonna leave Moors with this, man. I'm gonna leave us with this. I'm gonna leave Rothmans on the dollar bill, the pyramid, about us, those numbers. That it goes to 1776. I would show you all that. But if you got your Circle 7 Quran, I hope you study this. This is one of the master keys. But I'm not going to read it all. Yes, I am. And I'm going to connect and I'm going to show you the Kemetic principles, how it's all our science. Verse 12. One day as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, verse 13, these lists and ungainly parts and make the character symmetrical. We use the hammer to drive home the truth and pound it until it is part of our everyday life, or a part of our every part, excuse me. We use the plane to smooth the rough, uneven surface of joint and block and board that go to build the temple for truth. The chisel, the line, the plummet, and the saw have all uses in the workmanship of the mind. And then the ladder with its trinity of steps, faith, hope, and love. It's like a trinity, man, woman, child, with the 12 steps to recovery. The 12-step ladder pertaining with man is all those levels that you connect to yourself. How you perfect mentally. Well, what's in the stars has to below. Every constellation has 12 deacons. And on that 12-step ladder, we ascend until we reach the pinnacle of that which life is spent to build the temple of the perfect man. To build the temple of the perfect man. Now, because we almost done. This is in one of our books that we authored. More should know this, to where you should, if you don't understand the Kemetic principles and the work, that's all you should go by. Everything else is irrelevant. That's connecting all the religious rites. The true roles and this are all you need. The Kemetic and Adapt manual and the use of the carpenter tools. Reconstructed the ancient and most exalted grand Ka, the Ka of Ba, of Allah. When we talk about Kabbalah, when I tell you more, that's more science. Kabbalah is just written Kabbalistically. It's really talking about Allah, just like the Baphomet is written Kabbalistically. It's really the Temple of David, Temple of Hobbits. Promise you. Elise's Levi connotated that from the river Nile god. I'll teach that later. But the Ka and Ba of Allah, here we go. Listen to this, Moors. These two remind me. It sounds like what I just read out of our Quran. Here we go. These two remind me of the ones we handled in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build up character. We use the square to measure all the lines to straighten blah, blah. We use the compass to draw the circles around our passions. We use the axe. We use the hammer. We use the plane to smooth out. We use the chisel. What I just read to you. The Assyrian Metamorphian. You got to know this stuff. The 7 divisions of the spirit. So, Moors, I'll leave you with this. Our 7 principles. The principles of truth are 7. He, she, who knows these, understandingly, Moors, possess the master key, before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. Once you have these keys and understand it, the temple of the doors fly open because you are the key. The 7 Kemetic principles upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is based. Let me say this again emphatically. Is based. Follows Moors. The principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, and the principle of cause and effect. Tomorrow, I'm going to break everyone down tomorrow. I'm going to break every down one tomorrow, the Kemetic principles. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that history. The brother just asked me about the Barbary slave trade and white cargo. And I'm going to give you a little bit more history on that. When I tell you history was told in reverse. History was told in reverse. Christian slaves, Muslims, research that science. White Cargo, The Forgotten History of Britain's White Slavery in America by Don Jordan. And so you don't have to argue with no one. History was told in reverse. I promise you. Once again, I got to promote the science because we produced it for no argument. Those that have the wisdom and that study the literature, everything can be questioned. Everything can be researched and traced. I'm not here to write no religious book. I write science books because Moors, we're not under no religion. We're under synchronicity. We're under science. We're supposed to be master navigators, theosophists, philosophers, teach truth. So, interpretation of divine creed of Moorish Islam. This is one. I Am Royalty Coloring Book for Our Children. That's the other one. Did I give you? Let me see. Okay, I gave you that one. 14 famous Asiatic scientists in history. You Are What You Eat. Eat Good, Look Good, Feel Good. Our vegan cookbook. When I give the analogy, do a polar bear and a black bear eat the same food? We're not being racist or prejudiced. We operate on love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. I love me and I love my people. Does the black bear eat the same thing the polar bear eat? Somebody asked me. Somebody answered that for me, yes or no. No, they both would die. So our chemical makeup is the structure and design a certain way to connect with nature. Moors, yes, we love meat. Yes, I love cheese and dairy. But the reason why I chose to eat healthy because how it's processed. When you put generated modified organism and you use processed things, that's the stuff that kill us. I teach the science. I teach the science, man. Our vegan snack book, Delectable Veggies. Scholars who debunk Eurocentric propaganda. This is the stuff our babies should know. Our babies don't know about Sheikh Anta Diop, Ivan Van Sertima, Amos Wilson, Chancellor Wilson, Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark. They don't know about them. They don't know about Francis Chris Wilson. They don't know about all our scientists. They don't know about this. They think they come from slavery. They teach our kids in school 1700 slavery. And I say, Moorish, I promise you, once we ruled Spain for 700 years, we were all over the world. But they're giving you history in reverse, because Europeans, well, not even Europeans, Albions were in slavery way before you. I teach this. It was the difference how they were slaves, because they were able to get their rights after they served their time as indentured servants. You got to understand history, but history was told in reverse, Moorish. The essence of chemical element of Moorish archival. This our book we finally got done because I've been traveling. I got one done. I'm waiting for all of them to come. Some of us that's already pre-ordered, you're getting your shipment with our extra books, man. I'm just thankful for what we're able to do and for brothers and sisters getting the science and mastering themselves. This one of our high Moorish American Light of Ali and the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, the House of Ali Mysticism, the Egyptian Adapt Angel. Just what these brothers in the temples try to hold over you. But the science for you to master. This is no good if you're not mastering. It's just literature. It's just wisdom. If you don't master it and take it and ingest it and live it, it's no good. Also, Sufism and the triple rule of the Adapt Chamber feature the Command and Adapt Manual and the use of the carpenter tools. Here you go. We have them. We all see. And if something ain't right, we should be able to debate it with love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, we can be correct. Moorish, if our books, we are asking for a suggested donation of only $33.50. It comes with a tax-exempt receipt and a shipping and a tracking number. All you have to do is download the Cash App to your cell phone. Download our office number, 702-272-4775. All you got to do is tell us how many books you want. I will ship them to you in 3 days. You get a tax-exempt receipt and a tracking number. I mean, this is my life. If you don't want to buy the books, I have them PDF for $16.50. We can't go to and everywhere else we support and buy things. But when we do things in-house, we get in our ego like things should be free. And I don't agree with that. Go to work for free. Make a living for free. Do what you do for free and see how you live. What we're supposed to do is provide a product and a service for where our people can buy that. 702-272-4775. Indeed, Empress. But when I tell brothers and sisters, there's nothing noble being poor and broke. I don't care what no more say. If they're not teaching you commerce, not teaching you business, and not teaching you what nonprofit, what it really is, and how to change your community, and telling you the difference from what nonprofit and being the business is all about, they're not telling you the difference from tax codes and how to operate as a business. They're telling you, oh, it's a way for you to not pay taxes. Show me lawfully. And I can show you lawfully the way to do it, but not no way they telling you, because it's not no way. You will go to jail. Promise you. I know too many. I'm getting my PhD in Indigenous People Law and Policy. I go to courts cases. A brother was in there arguing about his name. I tried to stop that brother before he even went. I said, who's your legal representation? I didn't say lawyer. I didn't say attorney. I didn't say nobody under the British Anatomic Registry. Because when you take the bar, you work for the law. But legally, court records, you have the right to study law and practice law. So who's your legal representation? So anyway, the brother was in there arguing over his name being capitalized. I said, Moore, you lost. Why? Because I said, you here. You already proved that that's you. You already proved that's your name. But you in there arguing over in caps. That's not the fight. Is that your name? Yes. It's things to where no. So it's things lawfully. Research a European, a guy, when people say white, a so-called white guy, the Paradigm Group, and how he was showing people how to not pay taxes, and see what happened. And see what happened. He went to prison. Most of them all went to prison. But break it down. But I can show you lawfully how you are a business, and you can set yourself up as a business. And then you're not paying taxes. And then you're tax exempt from the federal government. And you're able to raise funds charitably, religiously, scientifically, educationally. You're able to have your own schools, the same way the prophet set up. See? So, with that being said, Moors, please, man, support, man, support. We got to know what business and commerce is, and we got to check people that's telling us we're not business and tell us not to do business and not to operate in the parameters of the law. I challenge anybody anymore that tell you that it's the way that you do things to where you not paying tax in this legally. You don't want to be audited. I know too many, man. I'm here just to illuminate something. Let me give you, I'm gonna show you one more thing in our adapt manual in the light of Ali. Let me show you something. When we talk about the law. Because to take one's place in the world, one must of necessity be determined to act accordingly to law. Only those that abide within the law, law-abiding citizens, can demand equal protection and application of lawful directives to the body. The people and government which are regulated by the law of the land and to which the law gives life. All others, i.e. criminals, aliens, undesirables, etc., exist outside the sheltering parameters of the law. Outlaws are classified and treated as enemies of the bears' rights under this Constitution. Moors, I promise you, if you understand this science, you operate total 720. All Moors should have all the same information. All Moors should have everything I have about how the temple set up, all of here, because we're supposed to have it all. Moors should not be saying different things. If they are, that's religious dogma. Some are practicing al-Islam, and we don't operate under no religious creed. We should have structured classes. I teach classes at the YMCA. I teach comedic principles. Phoenix, Arizona. Students in the studying how to start a nonprofit. They teach it like this. I say because I'm a real business. I can teach you how to get your tax exempt status, to apply for quick 30s, to build your credit line up. It's and other people are using these things. It's science. You have the right to travel to create commerce, not the right to travel just to be riding around without license. Of course you are not for hire. You know? So we must, you know? So we must kick this. But I'll leave you with over tomorrow. It's going to be amazing because this is life. This is what the as above, so below is. That's the principle of correspondence, Moors. That's the principle of correspondence. They're not going to tell you. I give the keys. That's the principle. It ain't no secrets. This ain't secret. This ain't no secret society. This ain't no European Masonry. This ain't no Illuminati. Because if you understand language, etymon, and linguistics, Illuminati, the root of that just means enlightened one. And we share light on BS. So we all should be enlightened, or the Illuminati per se. Reverse as spookism. As above, so below. As below, so above. That's the principle of correspondence, Moors. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. The principle of mentalism. The all is the mind. The universe is mental. The principle of polarity. Come on, Moors. The principle of rhythm. Everything goes out and in. Everything manifests. It's tides. All things rise and fall. Pendulum. Did the thermostat go outside itself for hot and cold? No. The pendulum or the thermostat just changed. That's why heaven and hell is all within. The heaven and hell is all within. Those are all analogies. Heaven and hell is within. In the biblical scripture, how you think Lazarus had a conversation in hell? That's an analogy. I can show you in the scripture that Gehenna is a real place where they just burn fire. It's not hell. Hell is within. Rhythm compensates everything. The principle of cause and effect, Moors. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happening according to law. Nothing is osmosis. Nothing is by chance. What chance is something you don't realize. Chance is but a name for law, not recognized, Moors. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Nothing escapes the law. The principle of gender, Moors. Understand this science. Principles embody the truth. The 7 creative spirits of Allah. We got to know that hear ye now cherubim, ye seraphim, ye angels, and ye men. Hear ye now, O protoplasm, and earth, and plant, and beast. Hear ye creeping things on earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear ye the wind that blow, and ye lightnings of sky. That's what that high science is. We should be making this thunder and clouds. Hear ye now, ye spirits of the fire, water, and earth, and air. We master this. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore will be, for wisdom speaks from the highest plane of spiritual life. Allah are infinite, Moors. They are not measured by time. For the things that are concerned with time, being like the everlasting of the past until the never-ending days to come. So is man, the spirit man. There never was a time where man wasn't Moors. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself, within its essence, the potencies of Allah, the potencies, the attributes. Just as the seed of a plant of earth holds the deep within itself, the attributes of every part of the established plant. Right? So spirit man as a seed, Moors, of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. The 7 creative parts of Allah: protoplasm, earth, plant, beast, man, angel, cherubim. Come on, Moors. The 4 committed planes of manifestation before and after the fall of man, which was Nu, which was Nut, Ku or Kut, Ab or Ka, or Kab or Kabit, the Mu, Ra, Kaba, the thought plane, which is the seraphim, apparatus of the soul plane, which is the angels, Moors, apparatus of the manifest plane, which is man, the Allah. These are, what does the morning star symbolize? It symbolizes the great God Allah and man, the as above, so below, and the spirit of a nation, both in moral or reciprocal achievement. When did this banner come into orbit? Of Africa by the Moors over 100 years ago. Moors, according to the committing adapts of Sufis, the Shabazz Iru of the noble spirit, the Shabazz Hiru, is said to soar higher into oneness with the great God Allah. Moors, we can go on and on. I can teach you about the essence of 4th of July. When people just giving you one aspect, are they not connecting it to a higher plane? And we're going to touch on this tomorrow, Moors. But tomorrow, we're going to go all through the Kemetic principles, and I'm going to give you some high science of what the 4th of July and all that really is. I love you all, Moors. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, health, and wealth. Islamism. Peace.